I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what he's referring to, so I'm dead ass curious to see like what the video is even about.
So far to me has been pretty surprising, to say the least. We have clear winners like the Lakers. I think Boston came out pretty good despite losing Marcus Smart. I think the Mavs did some great things getting off of Bertans' contract, retaining Kyrie, and grabbing some key role players. But some of the things that happened or didn't happen, in my opinion, left some stars in some pretty bad situations, at least temporarily. I'm gonna start with James Harden. In my last video, I talked about how important it was for Philly to retain James Harden because the market wasn't really flooded with talent such as a Harden, even at this stage of his career. I think everyone knew Philly giving him the max contract he was eligible for would have been stupid because he's clearly on the back nine of his career, but the guard market was so significantly weak that retaining him should have been priority. Reports were that James Harden wanted to return back to Houston, but Ime and their front office wisely passed on that opportunity. Even though I wasn't crazy about the guards they got and specifically the contracts they paid him, it was better than just James Harden. Once that option closed for Houston and Bradley Beal got traded to Phoenix where he couldn't create another super team with Kevin Durant, it seemed like it closed James Harden's market a bit. He was pretty much forced to opt into that last year of that contract with Philly where he requested a trade, and to me, either way it goes, the situation is kind of ugly. This is like his third trade request in like 3 years. This would be like his fourth team in 4 years. Him and Russell Westbrook, they're clearly having a former MVP team hopping battle. What team would comfortably trade for?
Yeah, him, Russell Westbrook, and Kyrie. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. That's what it's feeling like, bro. Like, God, can y'all just stay on one team? Please. Please.
For a sporadic James Harden on the last year of an expiring contract. Really, the only team is the Clippers. Next year for the Clippers really is like do or die because after next year, Kawhi Leonard can be a free agent. Paul George can be a free agent.
Yo. One sec.
Next year would be their 5th year in the Kawhi Paul George era where they've really done nothing. So getting James Harden on the last year of that expiring contract and pushing all the chips to the table, it does make sense. But one, I don't think that's a championship team. I just see injury galore, being honest.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, bro, it sounds crazy, but I would deadass more so willing to run back what they had last season, bro. Then try to get James Harden. Try to make, what's that dynamic looking like with Russell Westbrook? Not with Russell Westbrook, with James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard in this make it or break it year. Like, have some continuity with your squad, okay? Just run it back, bro, please.
And two, they can all be free agents the following summer. So is it really worth hopping to another team, hurting?
Shout to Scump Pablo for $5. Grant got that dump truck. Bezos, the Celtics was hiding all of that. Goddamn. What? What?
Your reputation further just for the same result? It's not ideal for Harden to me either way it goes. In my opinion, sticking it out with the MVP for at least one more year where you just had a fantastic year, you were one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals, that makes the most sense. But speaking of the MVP, Joel Embiid, if James Harden does decide to leave, it will leave him in an ugly situation. Fresh off that MVP and fresh off that postseason meltdown and fresh off of your biggest rival winning his first NBA championship.
That is interesting. If James Harden leaves, Joel Embiid clearly wants and needs deeper playoff runs. Is he just gonna stick it out in Philly? Is he just gonna stick it out in Philly, bro? In my opinion, if James Harden leaves, if I'm Embiid, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Which I know, it's contradictory to what I've been saying all stream, but I feel like at that point, you got to do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a tricky situation with, like, loyalty in the NBA. People will always do what's best for them, like, from a self-interest perspective. You know what I'm saying? On both sides of the spectrum. So ultimately, it's on some like, yo, I just got to protect myself type shit. On both ends.
And becoming the best player in the NBA, it would be nasty to lose James Harden for some role players that don't really make you a true contender. Sure, it kind of seems like they're in the Dame sweepstakes a little bit, but by all reports, Dame, he has his eyes set on one destination, so I don't really see that happening. Sure, Tyrese Maxey can take another big leap like he did last year, especially with James Harden gone, but I wouldn't want what's left of my best player's prime and his best window to really win a championship dependent on how big of a leap a 6'2", 23-year-old guard takes. I don't like that. Last year, James Harden and Joel Embiid became like the first duo in 40 years to lead the league in points and assists. Even with his playoff meltdowns and even with his playoff inconsistencies, James Harden was one of the best floor generals all last year. James Harden was a big factor in Joel Embiid winning that MVP. Losing a significant piece like...
I think, to be honest with you, from just a championship perspective, James Harden has a better chance running it back in Philly. That's just me, though.
That, especially if he's not properly replaced, that's going to be huge for Joel Embiid. Next, I'm going to say Damian Lillard. Okay, we know July 2nd, the second day of free agency, he finally requested a trade from Portland. By basically all accounts, and everyone reporting on this situation closely, Shams, Woj, Ramona Shelburne, Chris Haynes, it's Miami or bust. There's even reports that Dame wants to go to Miami so bad that he's warning teams against trading for him not named Miami, which to me completely goes against the character built from a guy like Dame. And if he was traded somewhere else, what exactly would he do? He's under contract for 4 more years. He doesn't have a no trade clause. He's not the youngest. And to me, he doesn't have any leverage. I understand the reports and I understand the narrative that teams should be reluctant against trading for a star that doesn't want to be there. But I'm dead serious when I say this. What exactly is he going to do? Pout? Retire? Leave all that money on the table? Like, what is he going to do? The rest of his contract is likely the rest of his prime. So he'll have no choice but to contend. Yeah, I see some people saying, well, Portland, they owe it to Dame because they failed him in the past to give him whatever he wants now.
And I'll just say it for the clip, bro. I understand, and I do the same shit. Like, yo, we are going to try our best to put you in, not even our best. We're going to put a concerned effort to get you in the spot that you want to go to. But at some point, bro, like, we got to take care of our own, and you got to be a professional. I only want to go to Miami. And this is not even on some Dame to the Celtics shit, bro. Like, if it was Philly, bro, like, holy shit, dude. You signed a contract to play fucking NBA basketball. Period, point blank. If anything, you signed a contract to commit to us for X amount of years. You still got a shit ton amount of years left on your contract. We are doing you a favor. We are doing you a favor by actually fulfilling your trade request. Period. Period. You say you want to go to Miami, all right, because of the loyalty that you provided to this franchise. All right, let's try to make it work. Let's try to make it work. But if what we're getting in return is Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and 2 first-round draft picks, that's not going for Damian Lillard, arguably top 10 player in the league right now. Bro, stop it. Stop it, bro. This shit would have been over if Dame just said, yo, I want to go to Miami, but, like, if y'all trade me somewhere else, like, as long as I'm contending type shit. Because in most situations, at least in the past, when people would request out of situations like the shit Dame is in, it would just be, yo, I just want to be on a contending team because I haven't been winning with my franchise, so I want to go to a situation where I can win. But now you're going to the lengths of cherry picking where you want to go to. And I don't know, bro. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there because I'm done with this shit, bro.
But I don't really agree with that. Sure, I believe Portland will try their hardest to compensate Dame's wants and needs and give him what he wants ultimately to Miami. But if it's not in their best interest too, they shouldn't do it, or they're running a clown show. We literally just seen in a 1-year span what Utah got back for Rudy Gobert. We just seen what Brooklyn got back for Kevin Durant, 2 great players and picks swaps. Why would Portland short themselves with arguably the best player in their organization's history? That's insane. Now, if you ask me where do I ultimately think Dame will land, it's going to be Miami. Like, it's going to be Miami. But I don't think they have the most...
Shout out to Scampalo for the $5. Not gonna lie, a Tatum Dame duo would be lethal, probably the best in the league, or behind Luka and Kyrie. LeBron AD is still up there, bro. LeBron AD is definitely still up there. But yeah, man, he don't want to win for real, bro. That's cool.
Desirable players or packages to offer for Dame, so it's definitely going to require more teams to get involved. The question is, how long is it going to take? How long is this going to stall? If this stalled through the summer like KD's did last year, Dame's spot is pretty much filled with Scoot Henderson. How nasty and how awkward of a situation would it be for him to go back? Hopefully, for Dame's sake, this happens relatively quickly because he doesn't really have much time to waste. Pascal Siakam is one of those players that's clearly and actually provenly a championship piece for somebody stuck in no man's land Toronto. Basically everybody from that 2019 championship team is gone. Kawhi left, Kyle Lowry left, Fred VanVleet is now gone, even Nick Nurse is gone, and he's the only one remaining. But the Pascal Siakam situation to me is weird because his name heats up in trade rumors and trade reports all the time, but reportedly he's not really open to leaving. Like 3 weeks ago, Chris Haynes reported that he won't re-sign with whatever team that trades for him, which would obviously make teams reluctant against trading valuable pieces and assets for a player that can ultimately become a rental. It's not like the Dame situation. He actually has leverage. Now, why is this Pascal's approach? I don't really know, but I'm assuming it's financially motivated. I don't know if he wants to actually let his deal expire, become a true free agent and call the shots on where he goes. I don't know, but I'm assuming he wants to wait until next summer where he's eligible for a Supermax contract, which is significantly more money than the regular extension he could sign this summer. Yeah. That makes the most sense because that is a lot of money.
I swear to God, bro. I would be happy for Pascal Siakam to get a Supermax. But if Pascal Siakam gets a Supermax, bro, the Supermax has ruined all it. What the Supermax stands for is it's out the water to me at that point, bro. It's out, bro. Because when they said Supermax, I thought Curry, I thought LeBron, I thought KD, I thought Kawhi Leonard. These were the names I was thinking about. But I'm gonna stop right there because I'm gonna sound like a hater. I'm gonna sound like a hater. But Pascal Siakam getting a super duper ooper schmooper max, bro. We're playing with ourselves. We're playing with ourselves, bro.
I don't know if he wants to do that first and then go to his preferred destination like Dame and Bradley Beal.
And then if they don't get that, the loyalty, I put all this effort and work to this franchise, I met the criteria. Where's my super max? Where's my super max? Man, I swear to God.
I don't know if he's just that loyal to Toronto. I don't know. Either way, I completely understand and respect the business perspective from him. But as a fan, this man should be helping some team realistically reach a title, not being the only one left from a hanging run 4 years ago. DeMar DeRozan is a player that kind of gets forgotten about, but at this point of his career, I kind of feel bad for him. These last 2 years with Chicago were actually some of the best hoops he's played, and unfortunately, they've had no realistic shot at anything. Lonzo Ball's career, it seems like it's over, and oddly, it feels like he was the glue to that short run they had like 2 years ago. Zach LaVine, his name constantly pops up in trade rumors, and I don't know how long he'll last in Chicago. They retained Vooch this offseason, and I guess it's good because they didn't lose him for nothing, but I don't even know what that means because, okay, he's a good player, but clearly he doesn't move the needle for them at all. And the rest of Chicago's offseason, I mean, it was pretty mid, especially for DeMar DeRozan's specific stage of his career. DeMar is on the last year of his expiring contract.
I think the harsh truth is, and I think in every era, there are certain stars that just end up being this way, bro. Y'all gonna end up in bad situations. Y'all will never truly get the chance to compete for a championship at the tail end of your career. You know, the first half of your career is spent like proving that you can stay in the league. Maybe you can become a number one option. But there are just certain situations where, like, okay, it's at the tail end of your career. You're moving to this team. Can I do it as a second option? You're moving to this team. Hey, can I do it as a third option? Some players, they're just not meant to be, they're just not meant to be champions. They're just not meant to be this, that, and the third. I think DeMar is one of them. Unfortunately. I'd love to see DeMar get a championship. He's always been one of my favorite players in the league. Shout out to his Toronto days when he was like uber athletic. Shout out to that DeMar. But, just a harsh reality sometimes.
Contract where he will be going on 35 when it ultimately expires. At this point of his career and with his play style, I don't really know what team would badly want him, what team would trade for him, especially with the uncertainty of his prime remaining, what his decision would be next summer. And from DeMar's era of stars that he kind of came up with, he's really one of the only ones remaining that is still putting up great numbers, yet he doesn't really have a true chance at getting a championship. If you look at his draft, Steph, he's won championships, and who knows, he may not be done. James Harden, even if he stays in Philly, he still has a shot. Jrue Holiday, he's won a championship, and he still has a shot.
Maybe this sounds crazy. If he can find a way to get to Golden State, I think that'd be kind of gas, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. If he can find a way to get to Golden State, because I think last year, to me, the problem with Golden State, to me, was they did not have enough elite on-ball creation, bro. They was relying way too much on Steph Curry. Even in 2022, they was relying way too much on Steph Curry. And, Jordan Poole was there. But if Jordan Poole was getting clamped, it was raps. But if DeMar to Golden State is, hey... I like that fit. I don't know how, I don't know how that'll work financially, but.
Even if you look at the players in that 2010 era that DeMar DeRozan kind of came up with, that's still in or near their primes, they still have a shot. Paul George, Russ, and Kawhi, they have a shot if they can stay healthy. Anthony Davis, he's won an NBA championship. Kyrie Irving, he's won an NBA championship. And to me, he has a better shot than DeMar. Anthony Davis, he's won an NBA championship, and he's on a contending team. DeMar is the only one that's never got over the hump, and still right now, he's not really in the position to. Next year, he's going to be 34 years old, probably still putting up great empty numbers. He's been a perennial all-star. He's never made an NBA Finals. And where Chicago is right now, he's not going to get that chance, at least next year. And to me, that kind of sucks. If you guys like this video, I'm going...
Yo, shout out to Switch Out for the video, man. Shout out to Switch Out for the video. Go ahead, check out his channel.
Kevin Durant.
Check out his channel. But yeah, I think there are just certain situations in the NBA where not everyone can win, bro. Not everyone can win. Not everyone can make it to the finals. There's going to be certain greats that were great but just never make it to the finals. There's going to be certain greats that were great but never really competed for a championship for real. The Michael Reds of the world, the Brandon Roys of the world. I know Brandon Roy is a different situation, but you know what I mean. Who's gonna be those players for this generation? It gotta be someone.